Hello there. The drafts of the note takers have been labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I've shared these with you at the folder level, so you should have access to all 5 of them. The first one is a pre-production note taker, and I would imagine that this is one that Teresa would probably be able to help with, as well as Rachel, because this would be items from the garage as we are getting ready to load and make sure that we have everything we need for each location. I have not completed these by any stretch of the imagination. What is here is just kind of random examples that came to mind tonight while I was working on these. So again, these are very much a draft. They are not set in stone and they are not complete. Number 2 represents a note taker for staging. And again, they're not complete. Staging is broken up into 2 different tables. There's the staging that has to happen in the classroom where we'll deliver content, lessons, and then below that is a tracker or a schedule of staging in the kitchen lab itself and all the different things that have to happen the day that we're setting up. Again, these are definitely not complete. They are just suggestions for how I see the information being captured. Number 3 represents all the different items each day that need to happen to produce breakfast, to produce lunch, and down here in the blue section to produce the demos for Lunch and Learn and the fried rice demos. So these down here, these fried rice demos represent the things that I need to demonstrate before we can turn folks loose on doing their actual cohort prep. This is probably the most complete of all of them because that kind of thing comes naturally to me. And I've had to think about that more than just getting set up and things because I do staging and off staging by myself usually. Number 4 represents off staging. This is a list of things that every facilitator is going to have to make sure that they are doing as they're packing up and leaving on the last day of Summer Institute. So right after graduation, this is not complete again because I've always had my own system in my head and not haven't had to write it down for anybody. And then there's an off staging in the kitchen lab too, because there are things that we need to make sure get collected and back. So again, this is not complete. It's just a draft. And then number 5 represents a post-production tracker because the fun doesn't end when I pull back into the driveway. Things have to be unloaded, counted. This is not complete, and I haven't even, to be honest, I've done the least amount of work on this one. But especially when it's the early part of the summer, I have to know that everything that's coming back into the garage is accounted for and that it gets placed back into the pre-production area. So these are the 5 different trackers that represent the things that I just kind of do but have never written down. for the most part. I don't necessarily expect that the note taker that is with me on site, whether that's Shelby or Rachel or Teresa, is going to have a device with them and is going to input their notes as in real time. I would anticipate that a lot of the notes are probably going to be taken on paper copies, paper versions of these, which is fine with me. On the other hand, if you're a good typer and you want to carry around a device, I'm totally fine with that too. I think the trick will be, for example, here on the staging in the classroom, there's definitely a difference between materials that need to be in place for the facilitator and materials that need to be in place for the participant. And materials are different than the type of equipment that we need to stage. And equipment could be provided by the school, or it could be provided by Kids Feeding Kids. Staging in the kitchen lab is a little bit different because, or easier because, there are either ingredients or supplies that everyone's going to be using. And an ingredient is obviously something that you would consume into your body and eat, but a supply would be something more like painter tape or heavy-duty foil. But equipment in the kitchen lab is very important because I have to know that we have the right number of liquid measures. We've got tablespoons, we've got speed racks if they have a speed rack. Many won't, or that there are cookie racks or some type of cooling rack available. So equipment could be school equipment, it could be Kids Feeding Kids equipment. But that's kind of how my brain works about this if I were to tell somebody how to do this. So that's a quick overview. I have given everybody, I think, access as far as like commenting, but not editing at this point. So maybe we want to schedule maybe we want to try to schedule some kind of Zoom with California Rachel, Kansas City Rachel, Teresa, and Shelby and myself to make sure to hear what everybody's thinking about using these. If you want to collect on paper, I honestly do not have a dog in the fight. I am just trying to give you all something to go off of about what kind of look-fors are going to be important depending on what part of this process you are observing at any given time. Shelby, you would be less likely to use the pre and post production note catchers, but Rachel and Teresa would definitely be using, they would potentially be using all 5. But Shelby, you would definitely be using 2, 3, and 4. And then California Rachel will be, I guess, cleaning these up or somehow figuring out where these go in the facilitator manual overall. Okay, thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful.